I believe that's yours.
I believe it's not. That's disgusting.
That does look like
Don't even bring it near me.
You were eating a pie the other day.
Oh, that is so not mine.
You eat pies all the time.
Can you deal with it? Because I don't want to deal with it.
Come on, that's
That
totally you.
is so disgusting. That's older than your grandma.
How can you prove that?
Just look at it.
Well, why don't you go find someone who can tell you how long that pie's been rotting for?
Yep, all right.
I'll bet you that it's yours.
I'll bet you it's not.
Do you want to make a bet?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
$5.
totally
All right. Okay.
We found the scientist Rachel, who's been experimenting on ways to solve crimes using rotting pigs. She'll be able to prove this pie's way too old.
Hi, I'm Jess.
Hi, I'm Rachel. Nice to meet you.
I'm Barnaby.
Cool.
We've got this pie and we're wondering if you could tell us how old it is.
It does look pretty dead. Doesn't happen to be a pork pie, does it?
Chicken by the looks of things.
Okay, well the research I do is I deal with looking at dead pigs, how dead pigs decompose. Probably can't tell you an awful lot about your pie because it's cooked and also you've moved it from the crime scene. So perhaps show it to one of my colleagues who works looking at insects if there's any maggots growing in it.
You have a nickname around here.
I guess you'd have to be referring to Maggot Lady.
Yeah, that's the one.
I have a very close association with maggots and have had for 20-odd years, I suppose.
We have here a pie that's been around for quite some time and we were wondering if you could help us find out how old it is.
Well, we can't do anything unless it's got some maggots on it.
It's mouldy but no maggots.
That's it. This pie's dead meat.
A red herring. Let's just go and learn about crime scene forensics instead.
So how soon after something dies would maggots arrive?
First of all, the flies are going to locate the body, and that can be within an hour of somebody dying, especially if there is some blood or external organs have been exposed, say through a stab wound or something like that, because the blood and those organs have their own odour. Flies will fly a few kilometres for a good smell.
So if you could train and track flies, they'd make great bloodhounds.
True. They've tracked down Rachel's pig well enough.
I see you've named all your pigs. Do you have sort of a favourite?
Not really. I love all my pigs because they're all quite interesting. They're all decomposing slightly differently. Annabelle, the first pig, is the most decomposed out of the 6 at the moment. She's got masses of maggots everywhere and starting to dry out, so she's quite interesting.
What exactly is your experiment? What are you doing?
Well, I'm actually looking at the bacteria that come out of the pigs as they decompose. And I'm looking at time since death. And eventually bacteria start to seep out into the environment surrounding the pig. And we're looking at those bacteria, trying to work out what they are, what times they come out of the pig, so that eventually we can apply it to humans. If a body, for example, is found out in the bush, the police or the forensic scientists can take a sample from under the body, the environmental area around the body, and predict how long that body's been dead based on the bacteria that are in it. Pigs are commonly used in forensic studies because they have very similar skin to humans and they also have very similar internal structures, so their gut system's quite similar to humans. They're reasonably cheap and there's plenty of them around, so pigs are a great stand-in for us.
Okay.
So, Polder, imagine that you were stranded on a desert island, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you cut yourself.
Yeah.
And like the wound started to get really infected and septic and
Ooh.
yeah, and all you had on the island, right, was a meat pie. How would you save your life?
Easy. I'd eat the meat pie.
No, you wouldn't eat it. You wouldn't eat the meat pie.
Why?
So these are blowfly maggots.
Yes, most of them will be blowfly maggots. We've got some houseflies hanging around here as well, but the blowflies will be in there first. They are what are called the primary invaders. The houseflies are what we'd call tertiary invaders. So they're waiting for things to be well decomposed, and that's why we've got maggots here of all different sizes.
So how long would it take for them to pick the body completely clean?
They are certainly involved in the initial stages of decomposition, but you've also got the bacteria, which are Rachel's and Jackie's specialty.
When something dies, you know, your heart stops beating and everything, and all the bacteria in your gut, they start to go crazy because they're not controlled anymore by all your body processes, so they start to eat you, basically.
The cells start to break open and release all the nutrients out in the bacteria, so woohoo, dinner time. That's when they start eating, and it brings on a stage putrefaction, which you can kind of tell from the word and the smell. And they start producing lots of gas as a byproduct, and so the body starts to blow up like a balloon. There's still quite a lot of gas in there, but he's lost a lot of the gas, obviously, out natural body openings and things, but now it's starting to go down a bit.
It seems like you're pretty desensitised to it all, like you just touched it and then brushed your hair off your face and stuff.
I don't mean to do that. It's sort of unconscious. Usually when I'm sampling I wear a suit, like an overalls. I've been working with them for 2 weeks now. I've got quite used to handling dead pigs, you know.
Okay, what you'd do is you'd let the meat pie get rotten and gross and go bad and stuff, and then eventually maggots would infest the pie, and you get the maggots from the pie and put them in your wound, and they'd eat just the dead flesh. Yeah, they'd eat the dead flesh and leave the healthy live flesh.
As in maggots, as in from fly,
Maggots,
like fly
yeah.
children.
And they'd eat the dead flesh.
Yes.
Also in medical labs and stuff, they're starting to breed like sterile maggots to put on wounds, and they use it after surgery.
Serious?
Yeah, they've been doing it since World War One.
Well,
Cool, eh? I think that's cool.
thanks, Chelsea. You just put me off pies for the rest of my entire life. Thank you.
Scientists have tried to work out time since death using bacteria before, but because there's so many bacteria on a dead body, they couldn't see a clear pattern.
Yeah, but Rachel and Jackie have worked out you can do it by making DNA profiles of the bacteria.
So this is groundbreaking research, and we get to be part of it. Do you want to?
Oh, okay.
It's real scientific. You just sort of start scooping gently so that you're taking a surface layer. Yep, that's it, and just go the length of the body. Get a whole tube full. We start off with our tube, which you might recognise. We rinse all our instruments with ethanol to clean them off. It's important with DNA because there's bacteria and DNA everywhere. They're on everything.
So what is that liquid that you put in?
Well, that first one's just a buffer. That helps to break open the cells and release their DNA. We go through a whole series of steps with different little liquids that all come in little tubes that all look the same, so it's not terribly exciting, but they all take out different components, like some will get rid of the sand and some will get rid of things called humic acids, which can bind to our DNA and stop the other things that we do with it working. And at the end of this process, we come out with a tiny little tube of very clear liquid which has DNA in it. And then we use that DNA to go and make a DNA profile.
Strangely enough, that's kind of what I expected the genetic analyzer to look like. It's a big box from the outside, but inside there's some quite complex looking equipment.
This is the final thing. This spits out the DNA profiles that we would hope to be able to use in criminal forensics, dating time since death.
So DNA profiles will help us identify which bacteria are around at what stages after death.
In the end, they'll use what bacteria turn up at what time to work out how long ago someone died, in the same way they use insect trends.
Can you tell me a bit about the body farm?
In the last year of my research, I'll be going over to the body farm to compare the results I got here with my pigs to real-life human studies. The body farm's a great place. It's the only place in the world where they're actually allowed to study human decomposition using humans. We're studying decomposition using pigs because we can't use humans here in New Zealand. But at the University of Tennessee in the States, they have permission to use human bodies that have been donated. They look at all sorts of different aspects of decomposition. They look at bodies in car boots, how long they take to decompose. And they've done all sorts of things like burying them and putting concrete over the top and then trying to use radar to detect where the bodies are.
So if I wanted to donate my body to be eaten by maggots, etc., would I be sent to Tennessee or?
Probably not. If you're living in New Zealand, your body will stay in New Zealand. In New Zealand, most of the donated bodies are used in med schools, because obviously doctors, when they're training, need something to practice on, and
Right.
and you know, live humans aren't always the best option for learning techniques.
And we have our pigs.
And we have pigs, yep.
Just imagine if you were a forensic scientist and this was actually a person that you had to go and investigate.
Yeah.
Imagine how that would be. That would be pretty horrible.
It's disgusting. Oh. I can't do it much longer. I didn't prove
Whatever,
The
it's
meat's
so
good,
your
but
pie.
it's not my pie.
All right, who cares about the pie? What happened today? What did you guys find out?
We found out heaps of stuff, actually.
What was the most interesting thing?
Oh, definitely this place called the Body Farm. It's like this crazy place in Tennessee where people donate their bodies to it and after they die, and they put them in like really weird places to see how.
And they're all dead.
Yeah, to see how long it takes for like different people in different places to decompose, so they can help trace time of death.
Is that legal?
Only in the state of Tennessee.
What did Rachel have to say for herself?
Well, she deals with pigs, specifically dead pigs that are rotten and have maggots just eating
yuck,
them.
did they
They smelt absolutely foul.
It's like kind of
The smell is the smell of putrid rotting flesh, and the sound is the sound of a blanket of living, convulsing maggots. I can show you if you want to come and have a
You want to
listen.
come listen? I think that guy there.
Oh.
Shh, just listen for a second.